Hello everybody, welcome back to another video of Heroes of the Storm. Today we're going to be playing some Probius, because the other day I played an ungodly amount of Probius. And basically I just want to show you guys what I learned. So that's it, we're going to jump into the game and hopefully have some fun. Alright, we find ourselves on the Battlefield of Eternity today. So if you're new to this channel, you know that I absolutely hate the little probe. I think he is the worst hero in the game by a long shot. But that's not to say that he's not good in some circumstances. Now, this is the first time me actually playing him on this map, so we're gonna see how this turns out. But I did realize that Probe likes two kinds of maps. He likes maps that have a lot of lanes to soak, and he likes maps that have 1v1s. So Dragonshire, in my opinion, is his best map because he can double soak and control a lane fairly well. We're gonna go ahead and place one pylon in a bit of a safe spot, because as you can see here, we take a whole lot of damage whenever fighting heroes, to the point where we nearly just have to base right off the back. We're not gonna base though, because our wave clear is so good. As long as we're able to dodge some skill shots, we will survive. If I can place down a W, that would make life easier. So this is basically how you play Probius. You sit here and you spam spells, and that's all you're going to be able to do for the early stages of the game. Go ahead and tap quickly here, and then expand our area of play. We'll place one W down to zone out this Leoric. Our main goal is to be clearing his minion wave so we can do other things on the map, like rotate if that's what we want to do, or anything else that might be of interest to us. You can see though we actually are able to surprise the Leoric with how much damage we can pump out. We'll place one more pylon a little bit more aggressively. And this is basically what you're doing. You're slowly tiptoeing yourself closer towards the enemy team, until they are too afraid to fight near you. Forcing two enemies to come to the top lane, which I'm fine with. As long as I am alive and not dead, I'll be able to defend these two just fine. They break one of my pylons, which is fine, because your pylons, the cooldown of your pylon gets reduced every time you pick up one of those little minerals. Additionally, picking up those minerals works with my level 1 quest, so it increases the HP of my turrets by a small amount, but after you get all your stacks, it becomes quite a significant amount. And then it also, after getting all of your stacks, will increase the attack speed of your turret, which is very strong. You can see we are slightly bullying this any enemy hero who's come to the top lane here, just because of our turret is really the only reason that we are able to hold our own down here. They did swap Leoric, which I'm fine with, and I'm gonna go ahead and try my best to burst this camp. It's actually my first time, as mentioned before, taking a camp like this, so on this map. So we're gonna see how it turns out here. I noticed your turret is how you get camps. If you got your turret up, you're gonna get the camps, unless the enemy team rotates, in which case it becomes much more difficult to fight. But I think I have this kid. Oh no, I stood off of the point for just a moment. There we go. We're able to snipe him anyways, and unfortunately we lost the camp, but we'll be able to get that right back taken. The objective's up, but we don't care. We're Probius. We don't do much to the objective. Another hard counter to Probius. There's a lot of them. So I'm going to go ahead and list off a few. So any ticking damage or consistent damage. So things like a Leoric suck, or any sort of poison damage in general, hard counters Probius. Because Probius's only ability to move around the map is his Z, and his Z gets canceled anytime he takes damage, which is a big problem. Look for any low enemies, none that I see. So we're gonna just continue to do our thing and probably get slightly flamed by the friendly team here in a moment. But we'll base and then get set up for a defense against this enemy team, which it looks like I can't tell which lane it's coming to. Top lane, maybe? Yeah, I think it's coming to top lane. So at level 4, we picked up the talent that's really the only talent I feel can be picked up for Probius at this stage of the game, which was turbocharged. I think turbocharged needs to be baseline, and I think that the my Z needs to not be canceled. It can't be canceled by taking damage. Maybe getting stunned cancels it, but not just regularly taking damage. It's too much of a hit for our poor little probe friend to take to actually be viable as a hero. So, and then at level 7, we picked up tower defense is what the talent's called. And anytime we land a basic ability other than our E, it will reduce the cooldown of our E. So we're able to spam out our turret a lot, which is very helpful. Unfortunately, we don't currently have our tank with us. She was covering for me in the bottom lane, and we're going to go ahead and tell her we're coming. And you can see we actually zoom around the map quite easy with our Z, which is on quite a short cooldown, which is very good for 3-lane maps, allowing us to soak like a little mad probe whenever we want. There we go, pumping out some more damage numbers on this enemy team. And we're trying to just advance our pylons as best as possible. Leave. I got this. I got this, bro. This is a problem I see often when playing Probius. Johanna being here helps me none. Not at all does it help me. She would be much more beneficial being with the friendly team rather than helping me. What is she doing? Like, I cleared the lane so fast. She's doing a little bit of, she's healing Leoric is what she's doing. That's about it. You see, we're just gonna try to consistently spam out our turrets on this Leoric and watch for any rotations, because I prefer not to get ganked. But we do now have a kill potential on this Leoric if we wanted. We could press our R button and probably kill him. I personally don't really want to just yet. I kind of want to get set up for this objective, so that's what we're going to go do. We're going to go ahead and I guess place a pylon right here and look for this enemy. Oh no, Kira's going to lose this camp. That's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. Some weird choices being made. Yeah, by you, bro. If I get jumped on, bad things could happen, so we do have to be slightly careful. And if this enemy team, yep, right here, we're going to go ahead and press our R button to try to burst down their healer as best as possible. And we have to press our Z to get out of there, though. Because if we didn't, we would get absolutely obliterated by the oncoming enemy team. So, I guess just continue to try to defend. But we are limited to the area of our pylons because our mana costs are incredibly high for all of our abilities. Pick up a couple mini pots and get some more cooldown reduction on our turret as best we can. At least we do get obliterated that objective, unfortunately, so instead of chasing with the friendly team, I'm gonna get set up for this next objective defense and clear the minion wave a little bit for them. Unfortunately, not looking too great in almost all departments. But Probius does have pretty good defense whenever he gets set up. So that's what we're gonna do. Just try to spam out spells. That is Probius's greatest strength, is the ability to soak and spam spells. He excels at these two things. Would probably benefit me most to be with the friendly team and hurting these enemies, but unfortunately we are made of literal paper. We actually have less health than a Murky whenever Murky picks up Big Tuna Kahuna, which is just so sad whenever you think about it. I gotta dodge this Stitch's hook when it comes. Looks like we'll be fine. And I really need to be getting the rest of my turret drops so I can finish my level 1 quest. That's Arkira's ult. I think I'll clear this minion wave and chase a little bit with the friendly team if they decide to do that. But I don't want to go too insane. I can actually burst this guy slightly. But you see we got hit by 1 ability by the enemy team, and we are not allowed to chase now because our Z gets canceled anytime that we take any sort of damage. I would be cool to fight for this if the friendly team wants to. So that's exactly what I intend on doing. I don't really know why they're calling retreat yet, because it's a 3-on-3. Okay, I guess, or it's a 4-on-3, I should say. Looks like their healer just got there though, so we're gonna have to do what Probius does best and turtle until we have an opportunity to re-engage. You can see top soak, top siege, top damage. So Probius can actually pump out the numbers, but the issue Probius has is all of my damage is it's fake damage. Really, it's like I don't have a team fight presence because I don't have an HP pool. So it's almost like you're playing Abathur Mind build. Which is it's good. Don't get me wrong. Abathur Mind build's very good, but it's very situational, and it needs the proper team comp to work with it. You know. Trying to not take too much damage in this fight. We'll pick up I picked up both pots. That's my bad. Oopsies. I really did not mean to do that. If friendly team wants to engage here, I'd be cool to do that. Gonna go ahead and press our R button because it can actually pump out a nice little bit of damage on this enemy team here. And we have a couple of turrets spammed out as well, so that's a lot of poke damage on the enemy team's head that I will take. It's for free. And we are actually getting 2 turrets out here in this fight rather early, helping us out a ton. And I'm gonna go ahead and do what Probius does best and try to get us our level lead back, because we are down on levels currently. You can see just walking through the minion wave there, something that most heroes can do just fine. Probius ends up taking a quarter of his HP. It's just gone, and he will never get that back. So you do have to be very cautious about your positioning as Probius. We're trying to play as defensively as possible and play around our abilities and pylons. But of course, this isn't always a viable strategy. It's a desirable strategy, but not viable. I'm going to roll the dice and place my pylon there in the top lane, hoping that that's where the next immortal setup is going to be. But it is, I believe it's a gamble, unless anybody else knows if it is a calculated decision on where the immortal goes after the split, after the halftime show. Place down another one here. Hey, that's actually a pretty good spawn for me. So that's exactly what we'll do. We'll go ahead, do our best to start to hurt the immortal, because I doubt we'll be able to help much in this team fight, although that's a nice bit of damage out on the red team there. I might even advance one of my pylons, so if the enemy team pushes forward, we'll press our R button just like this and try to hurt them as much as possible. Gonna have to zoom out of the way on them, but we are putting out nice damage overall on the red team, and the objective is coming lower and lower on HP, only at 3,000 left, which I'm hoping I could just backdoor with the help of some turrets and pylons, and hopefully just finish it off quickly here before the Vala on their team gets it, and we're able to do so. Hoping it comes, yeah, it'll come up here in the top lane, so we'll set up for that, clear out this minion wave with another nice WQ combo, and hope that I don't get rotated on, because I'm now realizing I have no friendly team to support me in this moment. We went for power overflowing, which once again, Probius' talents are very mid. Levels 1 through 7 or 1 through 10 really, they're actually excellent talents, and he feels like a good hero who's getting power spikes. Everything after that makes him feel like he's nothing. Try to get some cooldown reduction as best we can. Staying away from the Mathael, so he couldn't get any healing rolling, and that's a good enough push in my book. I'm gonna go ahead, back out, try to help my friendly ally who's been pinging for help. Put down a couple warp rifts, and that'll be that. Nazeebo getting a push, and the enemy team wants to be taking their camp. I will fight this if the friendly team wants to. I need a little bit of cooldown reduction, so we're going to be looking to hit enemies with our Q or our E so we can place down some buttons. We're going to pop our R just because I don't really feel like dying, and I kind of fear that that's where this fight's going. And yeah, our R was able to pump out a whole lot of damage while Nazeebo got work done in the other lane. And due to a really nice Lornado by our Deckard Cain, we're able to pick up a double kill, and we got the camp. Unfortunately, Kira went in a little bit too deep, and it will cost her life. But we got a lot done from that, and I will still take that that fight in general. Zooming out of here now because I do believe the objective's spawning rather quickly. So I want to be trying to take this camp before that happens. And that's a big thing you got to know whenever you play Probius, is to always be active, always be doing something. There's always something that Probius can be doing on the map. Whether it's taking a camp, soaking some lanes, or setting up for the next objective, he can always be doing something. I'm going to try to cut off this enemy team's disengage if they want to come through the area I'm at. I'll have an ult ready in just a moment. And we are actually poking down their healer decently. Not incredibly well, but decently. And like I said, if I get rotated on in here, I could mess up the enemy team a little bit. Pressing my R button as I got hooked. I should probably die for this. There's no real world that I live. Press my Z to try to, though. At least we were able to kill their tank in return, and hopefully get a kill on the Leoric if the friendly team rotates to to help, but it doesn't look like they're going to. We are rapidly approaching level 20, which level 20 really isn't that great for Probius in general. As mentioned before, his talents after 10 aren't that great. We picked up Power Overflowing for the little bit of spell power, which helps. Not the most, but it helps. We then went for Quantum Entanglement because I find the other two too hard to land to get any value, whereas Quantum Entanglement, you get value just for placing W's now. And then at 20, we're going to go construct additional pylons. Nice pickup on the Vala, too. That's actually huge for us, getting us level 20 by our Nazeebo. So yeah, we picked up construct additional pylons. This is simply because it upgrades our ult. And our ult has been giving us really good area denial. And baiting enemies into dying. Watch how fast I can get back into this fight, by the way, now that I rezzed. I'm soaring through the map with my 160% movement speed. Kind of think I'll place a turret down to try to win this objective race. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to just try to race the enemy team full on. And it looks like we actually do have them beat. Unfortunately, Nazeebo does get hook gorged. I'm really hoping we take this fight, though, all the way. I want to get another turret out if possible, as my turret is messing up the Leoric. Alrighty, and that will get us an objective. This whole time, bottom lane has been pushing to a nice camp timing by, I believe, once again, our Nazeebo. He's done a really good job of picking up the slack on the camp taking, whereas I've been slacking off in that department. Gotta make sure I'm picking up all of the little minerals that these minions drop, because that'll help me get my my pylons back up. Oh god, that could have been bad. There we go. We got our pylon in, and would like to set up more turrets as well as more pylons, but we got to be picking up those minerals just like I did to do that. And I'm really trying to siege down the building while saving my spells for any fighting that might need to happen. And if we're able to get a couple more pylons set up here, yes, it's beautiful. We should be able to close out this game here. I'm gonna soar on through and pick up more of my little shards so I can hopefully create a bit of a nice area to bait this enemy team into for more abilities to be spammed out. And we're just trying to yeah, there we go, able to burst down the Vala and finish the game. So that was probably the least amount of deaths I've had on Probius in a while, because he is very good at dying. He gets one shot by so many things, and if he's caught out of position, there's not much he can do. You can see, thankfully, that enemy team, they had trouble getting on top of me, so I could kite the Leoric, I could kite the Mathael, I could kite the Stitches. So definitely a good matchup for Probius, as typically playing Probius in quick match, you get a 5 assassin versus 5 assassin cluster round, and it sucks. But the talents we went in today's video, as mentioned earlier, was gathering minerals. This is because we want to have a beefy turret to play around. You play around that turret, you can do a lot. Turbocharged, because truthfully, this needs to be an ability baked into his kit. It's what separates Probius from being a hero who doesn't do much in team fights and struggles to rotate to a hero that doesn't do much in team fights but can soak like nobody else. He's really good at soaking really early on in the game. Then you went for tower defense, and after you get these first 7 talents, you are just super duper strong in general. You got spammable turrets and excellent wave clear. So this is your biggest power spike, is level 7, because a lot of heroes don't have their power spikes come until later, like level 13 and level 16. So after you pick up this, feel free to kind of bully the solo laner that you're facing up against a little bit more. Pylon overcharge, because the other ult might be good too, but this just truthfully works better with Probius's kit. The other ult, Warp Gate, I think is what it's called, that would be such a strong ultimate ability on a different hero, but on Probius it's unrealistic to get him much use of it out of it in a team fight. Whereas Pylon Overcharge, you saw me get like 5 or 6 kills just by pressing R. Then we go for Power Overflowing, because all of his 13s are mid, and I think this is the best one, and it's the exact same reason you pick up Quantum Entanglement at 16. Every other talent's just pretty mid. Then we went for Construct Additional Pylons, because the same reason as these other 2 talents, they're just very mid talents. And that's a big problem about Probius, is heroes like Ragnaros complete the same thing that you want a Probius to do. He soaks every lane. But Ragnaros has teamfight presence too, and a trait that is legitimately game-changing. So Probius just gets outshined by a lot of heroes. If you're gonna make Probius better, he needs to either have something like Nazeebo, where, yeah, Nazebo's not that great of a hero until he hits 20. And then he's like, okay, this guy's a hero. So I would either make Probius, there's a few things I would do. I would either, I keep his health the same, but I would reduce his death timer and XP granted for death by half. So that way he's respawning faster, and his deaths aren't as impactful for the enemy team, because currently he just can't compete in a lot of situations. And then I would also, it has to be done, Turbocharge needs to be baked into his kit, and his Z needs to be not a canceled ability. It needs to be when he presses Z, he gains his movement speed flat rate until the timer's up. But as you can see with Probius, top siege in the game, top soak in the game, and second highest hero damage in the entire game. This is competing against Leorics, Nazebos, Valas. These are strong heroes, especially that late in the game. That was a Vile Infection Nazebo, and we were able to pump out those kind of numbers. So when drafted into a proper team composition, Nazebo can work, but it's very hard to do, and if I was playing Ragnaros this game, I could have completed the same thing and probably gotten better stats. So that's my 2 cents on the little probe man. He definitely needs something to change about him, but I don't think it would take that much. I would just dive all the way into making him accept that I'm a probe. I'm a little worker minion that isn't meant to fight. I would accept that, but I would also say, I'm not meant to fight, so let me be good at running away. Let me press my Z and be good at running away. And let me be able to soak those minion waves like I'm meant to do. That's my job as Probius. So, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
You look a little too comfortable.
Oh. Sure, okay. Are we playing Toss the Panda?
Oh, that was beautiful! Hot potato, but it's a panda.
We're playing Toss the Hiccups.